accepted this mission. God, I just had this really strange thought. When I was a kid, we actually believed that the drink called Tang, a powder you mixed with water, was actually real astronaut drinks, and they took it to space with them. I don't know if that's true, but we believed it was. No one informed us otherwise. So, you know, the official energy sport drink of the Apollo astronauts before we had the energy sport drink. It's supposed to be a substitute for like our breakfast drink we called orange juice, which is very common. Bacon, eggs, toast, and orange juice. It was like a American staple. Anyway, I apologize. Hockey's on over here making this video. But basically, we've left Valentina in space. We've achieved our first orbit. And we can get back to here by going to our tracking center, our orbital command, our communications array. This is the one that has all the big radar dishes outside. And you also see that it has a taste of some missions that it wants me to do. It looks like they're all local to Kerbal, so I might consider them as a side video, but I really don't want to include it in this series, and it might get the experience all whacked and the money all whacked, and then if people are trying to copy, it's not going to work out. Anyway, so we click on here. Be very careful to hit fly, not destroy, and that's a place where you can just clear up space debris magically if you want to. What the heck is going on? So I have no idea what kind of science she collected. I forgot, so let's review our stored data. It looks like we have our materials study. We'll keep that. That's this big experiment right here. Sometimes they call it a service bay. Pilot aboard. We've already achieved what we need to achieve. Ah, yes, I remember now. I wanted to talk to you about something. And that's called EVA reports. And there's several of them over each biome. So like this one, for example, is the EVA report over water. It's worth 8 points. We'll keep it and we'll board. Okay, we may have already collected one of them on another mission. Alright, I can actually see through the dark. I see myself coming over the shoreline, so I'm going to try it again. And this says over water. There's no need for that because we already have one. It won't let us board with two identical missions. We only get credit for one, and there's actually a delay if we try to board with one. Alright, I see myself over water again. EVA report. And this time it's over Kerbin's Highlands. So we keep it and we board. So we're going to have like water, highlands, grasslands, mountains, desert, something we can't see from the equator called badlands. Of course, you have the poles, which you'll have the northern ice shelf, southern ice shelf, North Pole, South Pole. If you start looping the other way, you'll have about 8 more you can grab. And I may be exaggerating on the number. I don't know if there's 8 this way and 8 that way, but you sure can grab 8 if that's your goal. You're going one way or the other, depending on which way you went first. But we're on the equator now, so I don't really have anything to do right now. I'm gonna just check some things. Let's review. Periapsis 84, apoapsis 85. So what I'm going to do, because we're at the apoapsis, is immediately bring us down to about a 72. Wow, that hit 65 on an error. My hand reached up and flopped the throttle and burned accidental gas. You know, that could be catastrophic in a long-range mission. You could die based on just that alone. Okay, 72, so we're not to the point yet where we can click on the orbit and advance to that node. So we're going to have to do this manually, which is, of course, the greater than button, greater than and less than, speeding us up, slowing us down. And this stage, we can't go any faster than 4. So see, I press 5, it just tells me no. And I'm going to stop about right above this thing. And the reason is this is, I believe, mountains and shorelines all in one. We also can see what we can do. I'll go EVA. And that is water. I don't want that. EVA report. That is water. I don't want that. EVA. That is water. I don't want that. EVA. That is shores. I want that. It looks like I've already got it. EVA. Mountains. Yes. So bored. So I've already got shores. And now I've got mountains. Highlands should be about right now. They're always on both sides of the mountains. Nope, still in the mountains. The highlands would be the brown area. The mountains are the gray rocks. Mountains, don't want that. Mountains, don't want that. See, I'm just being a pain. I could just wait till it clears the mountains. I'm being impatient and I'm trying to make the video also. So normally I just wouldn't care, but normally I just burn time without regard. Oh, I just got the highlands. I'm sorry I didn't act excited. Bored anyway. It looks like we already have the highlands. So now the only thing I know that I need is the desert. So here it is. Desert. Alright, now look, our ship is coming over the desert airfield, and I'll show you. Let me see if I can change the view to help see. Alright, so we're going to do something here, and we're going to do it almost immediately, I think, and that's reduce this to 70. Alright, it's at 65, good enough. Alright, and you might not be able to see yet, but you will when I point at it. There's a runway down here. You can see it from space. It should be right there. There it is, right here. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I'm circling it and it is there. You can see it from space. So at this point, what we're going to do is put our periapsis on the ground. You can see that? 26 meters, and then I blanked it to 0. Can't see it because it touched the ground. I might be just a meter or 2 below the deck. This is where we leave it for now. And you can see we're coming in at 72. When we get to the edge of the Kerbin continent, we're gonna I'm gonna accelerate time. And I'm sorry for those of you who are trying to follow along real time. 70 stopped it. Like I said, it's the video is going to be so long if I just sit here and enjoy the view and soak in the learning and try to convey knowledge. A lot of people already have it if you've ran through this before, so I'd be boring you to death. The new people can't really comprehend it in the contextual perspective or the long term, so they're still kind of confused. Even though they might be trying to listen, it's really hard to focus and concentrate. This video, and the purpose of this video, I believe, is primarily for me to practice explaining these things to people. It's easier face to face rather than video because I can see in your eyes if you understand, and almost in real time, what you do and don't, and I can see people drifting and know how to get them back in, change the subject, take a break, change the whole lesson plan to something more fun, just stop the classroom work and go straight to simulation, break the simulation and go to the classroom so you get a better understanding. And I do know of one thing for sure. Ever since this game, I watched the SpaceX launches, and I know exactly what's going on, what they're talking about, terminology. Now, they still use miles per hour and kilometers per hour. I can't remember which. I use meters per second in almost everything. I can convert it with a calculator or just look it up online. It does it for you automatically. You know, what is 2259 meters per second? I don't know off the top of my head, but I know I am in what we call escape velocity range. So I'm in escape velocity range, but yet I'm entering. So this is an interesting dilemma and conundrum. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hammer the speed right now, like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Kerbal. I'm going to come to about here, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, that's slowed me down considerably. Hey, I like the new graphics. This is something they've done recently. These glow red now. They used to just kind of be boring, but now when they get hot, they glow. I saw the heat shield looked like it had a different glow, like a bright red instead of the dull orange it used to have. So, anyway, I have a little bit of fuel left. I was going to get closer to the above the mountains before I hammered it again. You can see, I might hammer it now and see what the results are. That might get to the point where I just run out of fuel. Yeah, I'm out of fuel. So, nothing matters. Shut her down. And we can eject, I guess. So it's heavier. It should actually fly further than me. I should actually start to stall, and I'm not sure if I'm going to even make Kerbal space or fall short, but we are going to come pretty close to it. Now remember what I did. I cut it at the airport and I shot it, but this is what I call coming in hot. You know, there's a better way. I just happened to be there and I needed the desert EVA and space report, and it was convenient. And this is kind of like advanced entry. You really don't want to come in like that without enough fuel, and if you do it too high and too quick, you'll actually come in at too sharp of an angle. That's what I'm doing now. I remember I said I wanted to wait until I hit the mountains to burn, but then I started burning before the mountains. This is the result, and it'll be alright. I'm going to put this above ground, of course, and I am going to go ahead and activate my parachutes, which should open any moment. 3,000 for the next one. Alright, 29, I stand corrected. nice thing is, at least in a role-playing context, is our center won't have to come far to pick us up. Now, I don't know. Yes, I remember now. I was talking about the chute, and 7 is a good speed to land. Probably no faster than 9. Or things do start blowing up, breaking, killing Kerbals. 7, you might break a something, blow a heat shield up, break an experiment, but you probably wouldn't kill a Kerbal at 9. 7, you're not going to break anything. Less than 7, it's like you can bring eggs back. So the big question now is to drop the heat shield or not to drop the heat shield. Didn't use any of it. It's because what we did is we used our thrusters to reduce speed. We didn't actually air brake with our craft, which means just basically creating drag against the resistance at the right angle. This is the best way. Creating drag against the right angle and letting the resistance slow you down. You're going to burn up your oblator, which you should know. Oblation, it's like you catch something on fire, and it burns at a certain speed so you don't melt. So you're basically controlling the burn rate with the material that you're subjecting to the primary heat source, which is friction, and the point of entry, which is the bottom of this craft right here on the bottom in this case. So I am dropping so slow. I'm going to keep the heat shield, and the reason I do that is because I get like, I don't know, 30 40 Kerbal monetary units for it. If I drop it now, it'll destroy itself on landing or something else. It looks like we have some space debris here. That's Z12 debris. That must be from the other one. Because, wait, we are Z12, aren't we? Yeah, no, that's us. I apologize. I got distracted for some reason. All right, so there we go. We have we have this mystery good. Might as well read it, even if it's 0.1. Wow, we get the whole shebang. Grasslands. So if we get the whole shebang with that, let's go ahead and attempt to get more science. Alright, so luckily we landed on grassland, and we're going to pick up some points. So don't forget our EVA. And recover the vessel. Alright, we have 112 science points to spend. We're back. Let me check my data. Oh good, we're only 19 minutes into the video, which is really nice. So we've come back and we received some money for that. The next thing we're going to do is explore the moon, which they're going to allow us to do a flyby of the moon. Okay, so I'll accept that, and we still have to test our heat shield. This money right here. I think real quickly before I go anywhere, because I'm an idiot. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. I am forgetful, even though I reminded myself. I think I'm busy making a video. I'm going to run the test just like this. We're going to launch, because that's the rule. Run the test at the launch site. Run test. So we just saw something get registered, test heat shield. Let's go ahead and check our crew report. An Otis one. Good, we just picked up an extra 1.5 point science. And I remember doing the EVA report, very first thing. It's almost the first, one of the first 3 experiments we did. So let's recover the vessel. And now what happens is we have 115 science points, plus we got paid a little bit to run that experiment. Now, alright, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to click that with the other finger, the left. We're at level 2 there. We're at level 2 there. We're at level 2 there. To achieve level 2 here, we need 225. So if we don't get it, or don't have it, then I need a 30-part vessel. And before we actually do that, we should probably come in here and determine what we're going to get. Now, to fly to the moon, alright, I'd like to have that. And I have money, so I can have that, even though I'm inclined to save my money for this. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of messed up. So before I fly to the moon, I want to try to figure out a way I'm babbling on my words. Anyway, let me load this up. Alright, so this is a vessel that can get to the moon. Alright, and it's also interesting because it's got a satellite that when we achieve orbit, then we will be allowed to leave it in space, and until the batteries actually run out, we'll have a communications satellite that'll help us when like an additional tower, but you know, if we're not aligned up and the planet's blocking us for some reason. So anyway, I promised you earlier, remember the 2 orbit was 1, 2, 3. This is kind of the same deal, except we're going to continuously run our gas on this one. We're never going to stop and wait, and we're never going to lose speed. Everything's always going to be a forward progression. Remember, anything we lose, we have to get back. So let's see if I can do this on the first try. I have to change some parts. I actually made this somewhere else, so real quickly, I'm going to put those there. Got to get rid of that. Got to get rid of that. I have to replace that with this. before. Okay, save. Wow, that would have been disastrous. Alright, so this is a flight to the moon. We're going to do a flyby of the moon, and we're also going to do this, what I call efficient near NK orbit, near Kerbal orbit. Let's go ahead and just get this done. I'm going to try to explain this as I go, and I hope I don't mess it up because I'm over focused or something. So anyway, the first thing we need to do is just fire and get going up. We do need to see some stuff as we're doing it. So let's fire and get going up. God, I bet my sound's way too high. Let me go down a little. I hope I haven't been blasting you guys in the ear. Anyway, it's not so bad unless you have these retro rockets. So we're just going to ride this straight up. That's all we can do. It's what we want to do. We're going to put this throttle on 3/4. And as soon as that stops, we have to fire our release and our next rocket. Alright, so there we go. Now the number we're looking for is 35 or 37. Let's call it 37, and then we're going to rush to 45, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But for now, we just keep going. 37, 37, 37. Okay, 37. Now we're going to rush to 45, which is the degree angle. And we're high enough we shouldn't roll over. And then when we get to 45, we're going to stop, put it on 90, and look, we're at 50. So we're going to go down to about 40. We're at 55. So we're going to hang out here a little bit for 60 at 40. As 60 comes, we're pulling down even more. 30. And then just kind of march down, stop at about 15. And look. Alright, I'm guaranteed 70s, so go ahead and go to 0. Now, put it right there. We need this number to march backwards, the seconds to apoapsis. As long as it's marching backwards, we're happy. Alright. So I'm going to crank it up. Now, I said this poodle only liked to vacuum before. Now, we are in the vacuum of upper atmosphere, but it's not going to kick into full power until we hit space, which is coming up in about 700 meters. This number 29 is marching backwards. I'm not real high, I'm at 72. That's beautiful. The 23, 22, it's marching slow. Remember, we want to hit 0 here and 22 there. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the gas. No, I'm already at full. What I can do is hit the top of my angle like this, and that should push this seconds to slow it down. At 19, I kind of give in and just let what happened will happen. So I'm going to put it up on 20 or 30 at 7, because I'm at 17. 30. And I'm going to try to get this number to grow. Alright, I'm getting it to grow. So as it grows, I'm going to go back. And we can play that game all day long. I just hit 19. I told you that when I hit 19, I kind of just let go what will go. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to ignore everything now except 2250 right here. Kind of lied, didn't I? See me weaseling on that? Alright. I'm 26 seconds to 2250, so I just killed the engine. Notice I'm not losing any speed right now. I'm just trying to get up here to 0. And then I'm at 14. Let's just put it right on the mark. And I'm basically going to blast it with about 5 seconds to go. Oh, no, I'm not. And I did it wrong. Alright, what I was supposed to do was achieve orbit before I let that go. I just let our satellite take off, so basically it has no fuel. We have a failed satellite going to crash back to... I didn't even get to show you how that worked. It was going to be so cool. Let's revert to launch. So you need to know how to do this, so we revert our flight to launch. And that's because I kind of messed up. What I wanted to do, and maybe I needed to do this in advance, was find this decoupler and enable crossfeed, just like that. That way gas can go through here from this tank through these systems into this tank through a tube. That's if we need it. If we don't, we don't. But let's do that launch again, just like we did it before. Okay? So first we're just going to shoot for the sky. And we're going to hold that through all the processes until we hit 37 to 45 now. Notice we're a little behind the game, but not really. Maybe I'm just opposite wrong. So what I think I might do is wait for 40 instead of 37. And we'll see how that works out. Oh, let me get up on 3/4. Alright, so now what I'm waiting for is a what did I say? 40? Okay, 40 to 45. And then at 45 I stop and check it. Okay, 45, 50. Start snaking it down a little. A little bit. A little bit. 55. Slow down about 30. At 30 I want to make sure I'm going to make 70 with this engine. So 60 pretty much affirms it, but we go to 25, we move slow now. Because the closer we get to 0, the closer that the slower that climb is. 67, 68, 69, 70. We are there. Now we can see our time to apoapsis counting backwards, which is good. Alright, we're not quite there, but we are in vacuum. And I would like to know, you can black that up, set it over here and watch it. I would like to know if that starts feeding. And then I can also put that one below it so I can kind of watch my gas tanks if I need to. 32, 31, 29. So at this point, it's not a bad idea to get maximum efficiency. That happens right in the center of this. It's where you're getting the most burn for your buck with the fuel. It's your greatest value, greatest efficiency. But see, as I climb here, I can't wait at this speed till I get too far down, so I need to put it up on 30 and try to arrest that 6 number. Alright, so I went ahead, I've jacked the, I should have had the fuel jacked already, that's my fault. 5, okay, I'm starting to grow. Maybe I'll do better this time. See me locking it at 6 seconds. Stuck at 2. Once we hit like 2000 or 21, I'll probably just lock it in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, now to go backwards. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And now remember, I'm going for 2250, so I don't care about anything else. Alright, we're getting ready to go into this gas tank right now. We're in it. Okay, 2250. Alright, so we have here, we haven't quite made it yet. So I'm going to try to get to 73 or 74. Alright, we're at 70. We've achieved it. So what I want to do now is open this up. You can't really see it, but let's stand it up. I'm sorry. Where's my antenna? Oh my goodness, I don't have an antenna on it because I yanked that other part out and the antenna was attached to that. Oh my goodness. I don't want to have to scrap the whole video series, guys, so we're just going to have a fail here. I guess if we didn't fail, we didn't learn. I got excited about changing that part, and now I'm missing something. I need to have a relay, and that's an antenna. So since we have this in space, our next step was to expand the antenna and then jettison it. We'd want to be like this when we do that. We'd want to jettison it like that. So we'd be this part. Wow, we're in contact for some reason. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know where the antenna is, but I'm here, so I'm going to rename the vessel. I'm going to call it a relay, and it's going to be the relay Kerbin 1. Accept. Okay, so now this will help transmit signals if we need it for our mission, or maybe it'll last a few missions, but we don't have solar panels yet, so when the batteries are done, our temporary satellite's done too. So we will go back to our craft. And our focus is to go to the moon now and do a flyby. So first thing you have to do is set the moon as target. Then you have to see how far off you are. This is a +0.8. So I'm going to accelerate myself up to this point. I've pushed the greater than 4 times. It takes about a little while to get to the moon, so if we don't do this, we're not going to make it in time. Anything reasonable without just like hanging out for like 4 hours. But I'll show you how to get it done with time acceleration. So what we want to do is straighten this out. Put that on 0. That's the ascending node. The other one's the descending node. Okay, and then when we come around the bend, about right here, we're going to just point towards the moon and go. I will show you how that works too. Alright, so here we are. We're coming around the bend, and we're waiting to see the moon. At moon's first sight, we're going to give it gas. Matter of fact, I'm watching it here. I'm going to anticipate it. If this cross hits that point before I see it, I'm going whether I can see it or not. There might be a reason if you were blind that you would have to do this with your instruments, like if the sun was creating a situation where you're being blinded and couldn't see the moon, or all you had was instruments and you didn't have a window. I don't think the window works on this anyway. The only reason we can see it is because we're outside the craft. So basically it's any moment now, and I know it is. I'm just going to start. So what I did is I just got a little bit head start on it. See, here it comes. And the reason I did that is just because this Terrier engine's just a little underpowered. I didn't want to be left late. So here's the result. And we are driving. So here's the moon. And it's moving this way, and we're moving this way, and we want to intercept it. So as it travels, we travel. Alright, so now we have a potential lunar orbit. We're within 1,000,000 meters, but I'm not happy with that, so let's put it like, I don't know, within like 100 and maybe within 90. I like that. Alright, so The only we didn't put any science on this vessel because we were limited to 30 parts. So the only thing we can do is get a crew report and a EVA report. I'm not going to worry too much about science because I want to get this video over with. So I'm just going to hammer this button. 4, 5, 6, 7. And that changed us back to 4 automatically. So I'll just let a little transpire here. Then I'm going to back this off to 1 because I want to do something. And you orbit, and then you put it on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a return orbit right now because this uses the least amount of gas. I want to see that number move towards Kerbin, not away. Alright, so we won't be getting any further from it. A little bit, but not much. And we're going to put that on probably 40. Now this is what you hear about Apollo doing. They're on a return orbit, so like if everyone dies, their ship just comes back, hits orbit, and lands. I mean, just automatic. You don't need anybody anymore. You could literally not have gas and you'll be fine right now if you just used your last speck of gas. But we don't know if we did that. Let's go look. I did not. Did not. Okay, so here we are. And like I said, we can only get 2 scientific experiments. So I'm going to go. All like that. And crew report. 10 points and EVA report. 16 points. So we're going back with a whopping 26 points. But that's alright, because we should get money for this, be able to go into the next thing, and then the next time we come back we can bring all the science we want. We know our ship will make it, so no fear. We have no fear. Anyway, so let's get out of here and let's get back to Kerbin. I want to make sure my control is turned off. We shouldn't burn any electricity going back. Alright, now it's hauling really fast. We just don't know it, so slow it down. And then go back to speed if you need to. Alright, slow down. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Alright. So, we are really coming fast, right? It should stop us automatically if we hit the atmosphere at 70 anyway. Just like it did right there. So we're going to turn this on, we're going to turn this on. And before our engines blow up, we're going to take the remaining gas we have and we're going to try to help our situation. So they're going to start to get hot, and then we're going to, I'd say about 50, we just blast them like this. Now we probably should watch to make sure we don't do anything crazy, like reduce that too much, and we're not, we're whittling at it very little. I'm still using gas and I'm pulling this down. I want to try to keep that above like 23. So there it is. And if I think it's going to blow up, I'll eject it. But otherwise, I'm going to keep it until we get to the periapsis, or to well, it's being pushed in front of us, so I'll never make it there. It's starting to get hot, so I'm just going to blow it out now. So let's let it go now. Alright, remember I said it glows a funny red. It goes from an orange to a red. We'll see if we can get it. We might not be traveling fast enough to get it to glow red though. But yeah, see, we've only peeled 3 units off of it. Check this. This is not set up for automated. I've killed Kerbals like this before. So I'll put it on 60 and 1350. And then I can basically fire it now. Like that. And it won't open until like about, I don't know, 3,000 feet. Yep. Anyway, there's really nothing to do except just kind of wait for this to play out. What we did do is just created a fly by the moon. We did gather scientific data from the moon. That would be our crew report and our EVA report. And we should get some money for that, be able to upgrade that building I need to upgrade so we can get above 30 parts. And then then I can put a solar panel on my satellite system that was supposed to be more permanent and less temporary, but I didn't spend the points right. I didn't have them actually. I would have had to go somewhere to find them. Anyway, this worked out well. That satellite was a secondary thought. I was just trying to get fancy, and instead of leaving space debris, leave functional space debris, which to me makes perfect sense. Now we're almost to the end of the video. This one's another hour, 53 minutes now. So within 2 hours, we've upgraded 4 buildings. We've given 2 Kerbals stars. We've given all the Kerbals experience. We've gotten to the point where we can start to build complex craft with numerous parts, and given us a potential to start earning experience and money at a greater pace than we were able to before. Kind of like exponential multiplicity, if you know what that is. Anyway, the further we go and the more complicated it is to get, the more experience it's valued. So we should be able to go to the moon, go into orbit, do some EVAs. By the time we're landing on the moon and bringing surface samples back, you're talking hundreds, 300-400 science at a time. But of course, your science modules are going to cost you 90 and 180 and 320, so that grows too. But anyway, you can get a whole lot done in the first two moons. Remember, Kerbal has 2. One you can see with the furthest one with the naked eye, but you got to know where to look. So we can see this one is obvious. Just be a little more thorough, I'd like to do a crew report. Nope, can't do that. EVA report in the desert. Have we done that yet? No, we haven't. So I just picked up an extra and no board. And I'm assuming I have a crew report I can get to. So I am going to transmit this crew report and then take a desert crew report. Oh yeah, here's the antenna. So it extends to transmit, then retracts when it's done. Pretty cool. Now I'll do a crew report in the desert, and it looks like we just picked up another 4 or 5 science points. So let's recover the vessel. I'm gonna show you where we stand for the next mission. Look, we've got 92 science points. That's nice. I just did one thing out of order and had to mess up my satellite. But so I'll go ahead and get this. This has something I want. This has the Kerbidine thing that I removed. It has my battery, and it also has a solar panel. So those are my 3 precious objects I yanked out of that last ship. That 30-part ship. That was so beautiful, but what I was supposed to do was not buy this and buy this. And then at the end of that mission, I was supposed to come back and buy this. So I just did something out of order because my brain went zzz. Anyway, it kind of worked out. The only thing I did was made a semi-permanent satellite, a little more temporary, and I really don't care because we'll have better satellites to put up very quickly. Very quickly. So that's where we stand there. So we have a craft that works. We have money. Look, 574. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to buy that. Bam. Look. So now we can have more parts. If I wanted to just spend the money here, which I haven't made a decision yet, we could have up to 7 missions. Let's just do it. Because we have to upgrade everything. Eventually, I'm going to upgrade my runway. And then I'm going to stop right there. This is so right now the only 2 buildings I need to upgrade to level 2 are this one and this one. And we're not doing airplanes yet, so that one's fine. And if we do, we'll stay under 30 parts. So let's go to the mission, explore the moon, which now we would like to go put us in an orbit. Rather than just a flyby, we'll orbit. We have rescue missions, we have science experiments I like, but I'm not ready to go to the surface, excuse me. Anyway, so I'm just going to take that one mission for now. Another one might expire, but that's fine. And this is a really good point to stop at. So I'm going to stop here. And as always, thank you for watching.